It's an honour to be in this beautiful garden, which is a memorial to James Richardson. I've been an orthopaedic surgeon for more than 40 years, and in that time, I've met a handful of people who have really stood out to me as being something special, and James was one of them.
To try and describe James in a few words is really difficult because he was such a huge personality and contributed so much to individual people's lives, but also globally to the field of orthopaedics, hugely in cell therapy, but in lots of other areas.
I remember him bouncing out of his office, a giant of a man, to talk to me, took me into his room, very quietly spoken storyteller, telling me what he expected of me as his chief executive, just as I was starting at the hospital.
After James passed on, I wanted to offer a piece of artwork to the hospital that reflected the research and cell work that he was involved in. It morphed from being a piece of artwork for the wall to being a garden that could be used by staff and patients and their family.
Prof Richardson was a fantastic mentor to me when I was a senior trainee and when I started my consultant career here at the Orthopaedic Hospital. He took me very much under his wing, developing my practice in ACI.
ACI stands for autologous chondrocyte implantation. The autologous meaning it's using the patient's own cells. Chondrocytes are the cells of cartilage, and implantation, they implant the cells into the damaged area of cartilage, into where the joint needs repairing.
It's a real honour to be able to continue his legacy with the cell lab and with the opportunity of cartilage regeneration procedures for patients who are really struggling with joint problems around the knee.
Prof was a team player. He thought a lot of his scrub team that he worked with. He treated you like part of his family, like he did his patients.
He always took the time out to say hello, even to the point that if he didn't have any dinner, he'd offer to share his lunch with you.
He was just such a kind person. He was always so calm. He never made you feel under pressure. His cases were a challenge, but it was always really satisfying. He did the best for his patients.
My name's Helen Cotter, and I had the good fortune to be a patient of Professor Richardson. Having the hip replacement completely changed my life. I was able to become much more mobile, have much less pain in my life, and actually make the decision to have a family, which I think I probably wouldn't have made actually without having had the surgery. I signed up for Couch to 5K. And over a period of 9 weeks, I completed my 5K, or the 20th anniversary of my hip replacement, which felt like a huge achievement. And I raised £1,500 for the hospital, and I'm really happy that the money I raised has gone towards the memorial garden for Professor Richardson.
I think it's lovely. It's a lovely use of space, and I think it's really appropriate for Prof Richardson because he was such an outdoorsy type of person, and I can just imagine he would have loved coming in to have his lunch here if he ever stopped long enough to have lunch.
I envisage people just having time out, and perhaps it's a break, a lunch break, a coffee break, just to step outside and breathe again. I hope that everybody will feel it's their space to be and to use. I think that's very important.
It's wonderful that we've got this space where people can come and relax and reflect in the outside, and hopefully a little bit of a legacy from his passion for orthopaedic surgery and the science behind that.
On the anniversary of Professor Richardson's death, both Leonie and I came into the garden, and we stood by his picture and we reflected. We could feel him around us. It was lovely.
People should be encouraged to come down here and reflect in all the stresses and strains of today's life.
It's nice it's so close to theatres that we can just escape for that 30 minutes lunch, and we've got somewhere now that we can come.
The artwork from Design in Mind is really, really good. I wonder if this is meant to be like a microscope slide, the shape of a glass, I don't know. But certainly I can see cells amongst lots of these pieces of art.
I wanted to ask Designs in Mind to do the commission because they're a local charity. They support people with mental health illness, and it's a place for people to meet and I think discover skills that they didn't know they had.
Hello, I'm Bridie, and I work for a company called Designs in Mind. With this project, we came to look around the orthopaedic and looked at some possible sites for this work. We came across the space in the atrium. It just sort of immediately, struck us that was a really strong space, and it had, although it was not used at the time and it was quite overgrown, it had so much potential. We were able to come up with the idea of having these panels that would, depict our members' interpretations of stem cells, and we interpreted those through various mediums. So lots of people did embroideries and screen prints and lino prints and also paper cuts, all sorts of things, because the space is quite blank. We wanted the artwork to kind of be the main focus of the detail, really. The actual panels themselves are made up of 5 tempered, toughened glass panels that we had custom made. The process that we used was screen printing, but screen printing is weatherproof because obviously we didn't want it to degrade. I think it was just a really lovely sort of summary of a wonderful life and a wonderful man.
James would have appreciated just the whole space. He would really have appreciated the glass, the representation of the stem cell work on it. I think he would have found that very innovative. And he would have appreciated the effort that everybody in the hospital has put into bringing it together to what it is.
So we had carpenters helping out with the wind chimes and moving the benches, builders setting the timber into the ground for the artwork. Then there was electricians that made amendments to the lighting. We also had guys coming in doing cleaning, so the peak team came in and did cleaning for us. The IT guys got involved because the lighting that we have installed now is smart lighting, so we can change the colours, and then maintenance assistants as well that obviously moved and fetched and carried things.
A common thing that happens, people don't realise that estates and facilities join together. You go in, we get the structural side of things done, we get the deep cleaning side of things done, and as a team, it all comes together.
It's nice to know that all it takes is one project to get several teams to join together, then it's good.
Me and my team, we have done various jobs in the garden, bringing in all the oak benches. We organised getting some extra pavers fitted in here to give more space for people getting around the new trees that were brought into the area. We've also helped with some of the artwork, getting the ground prepared, but obviously it's a nice quiet place that people can come in and relax and have their dinner in peace or just some time to themselves.
Rob Jones is quite a unique hospital in that everybody always seems to come together on things. It's just been a lovely experience to be able to work with all those different departments and all those different people.
When we were asked to support this project, to bring this beautiful garden to the hospital, we were delighted to get involved, in particular because it was in memory of Professor Richardson, who was a much loved colleague, friend and mentor. What's been brilliant about this garden is working together with all the different departments in the hospital, particularly estates and facilities have just been wonderful in their approach, and nothing's been too much trouble. We are lucky to have the support of the community in terms of fundraising, and in particular fortunate that Helen came forward to do a personal challenge that raised nearly £1,500. We're so grateful to everybody who supports the League and all the work that we do to support any project that improves the comfort and well-being of staff or of patients here at the hospital.
James was always not only focused on the research for the sake of it, but actually about the impact it was going to have on our patients, and we're very grateful to him for that legacy.
It was just an absolute privilege to work with him and an honour to be part of his team. It really was.
But he lives on in all of us, especially in Theatre 4, and that's where he is for me. He'll be much loved and much missed.
We'll not see the like of James for many, many years here, but he's left an indelible mark here, and this garden is a moving and loving tribute to that person.